You eating, my boy? Shit, you been up for me for a little bit. Good morning, um, to you in the future, to you, 1,000 years ago, whatever the Attack on Titan entry is, brother. It's been a long time coming, but you started your vlog. You know, sorry for the shitty background. I kind of took some shit out the wall, but old 10-year relationship. This is my desk. This wall, I need gotta clear up some of this shit, but and I just want to read. Pretty much is it. I don't know if I ever have a viewer or if I ever get this theory of holonic intent out in the gentropy or just anything that could add value to like behavior change in psychiatry. But it is 3:31 a.m. I didn't sleep too well because yesterday was a big confirmation through discourse that things have dissolved under my awareness to a certain extent without direct communication. And a person I've been with pretty much after they get back in a week or so, packed up and excavate an apartment, and it is what it is. You got a book for everything, right? I'm the only one that read anyway, but this is for me, this little project, because shit, man, look, I'm about to read. This is the list that I'm on to next. We who wrestle with God, finding radical wholeness, good energy, mainly the red book, radical wholeness, and we who wrestle with God. I told myself like, you know what, I wouldn't mind rewatching that. I get hyped during reading, so fuck it. Like, nigga, that was a book I got at fucking Amazon. Theta Healing. Probably not gonna read that. Get the my boy Anton hit me with a I don't have enough faith to be an atheist. All right, see where that goes. Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, The Prophet. Gotta finish the Shadow Effect, the easy peasy way to quit porn, and the newest one to the stack, which is actually more perfect timing than ever. Own your past, change your life. But today we'll be jumping back into The Body Keeps the Score. I mean, I'm almost done with it, but what can I say? Page 234. I think in the future I'd like to have a camera, watch myself underline. I don't know. I mean, who knows what the future's gonna be, right? The Nemo robots, AI, everything. But either or, I do think not to go too deep, but reading is gonna be such a crucial pillar of maintaining health and mental development and maintaining, cultivating. All we are, only is attention. And with this hyper supernormal stimuli economy, shout out to Matt McCusker of look here, look there with phones and whatnot. I mean, the world is baked in disorganized attention and entertainment, supplementing all the work that, people should be and could be doing because they try to keep up with all the apps, all the trends, all the engagement. It's just everything digital is damn near engagement farming. And there's a lot more people, I think, disconnected, mind, body, soul. This just on the line, there's a thousand ways to frame it, but that's why, at least that's why I love Casey Means, as he said, there's something possibly deeper than what we see spiritually going on, like, more than just having the fruits of the first world with depression and obesity and divorce, all these things that don't really track to like a ever harmonizing culture, ever developing culture. Seems like there's been a stagnation to some level, but I think that stagnation involves with the deterioration of the attention span. I don't know what I'm talking about. It is 3:35. Emotional days yesterday. I hope I'm not. I'm gonna post this. I don't give a fuck, brother. It's just for you anyway. But yeah, I'm fucking 30. It's October 31st. Working at fucking Trader Joe's warehouse. Should have been a nurse by now. wanted to be a psychiatrist. ChatGPT and a few other developments made me not have faith in psychiatry. It's kind of been mass online. But I fuck with Dr. K and everybody else, Paul Conti. But yeah, so you know what? This if I post anything else, I'm just gonna be reading. Um, maybe reaction to an anime. Probably really none, but I do need to watch DDD Demon's Destruction and finish that. Then there's like all this shit coming out in January. I used to want to react to educational podcasts and these big, you know, Joe Jordan Peterson or shit, anything like that. I find interesting, but I think it's just gonna be a reading vlog. Yeah, reading and kind of helps you force reflect and hopefully develop a little bit more consistency. A journal to myself. I don't need to have like just a journal. You know, this is my life vlog. Just something that maybe I always want to. If I could influence one thing in this world, it would be getting more people to read stuff that's not to say fiction, but things that tie to intrapersonal psychological development. Because I think most of us are harassed by our cost benefit analysis of everything in this value world of who we are, why we are, what does it mean to embody our identities, what we value, what we project on, how we go about psychology of optimal experience. That's Flow says. Favorite book I think of all time on this desk. Read it. I don't know. It's just something about it. Something about it. But either or, I've already read a little bit. Been hitting the pen all morning. 7 minutes in, ain't said shit. Intro, right? Intro video to yourself. Is yapping and yapping. But let's read a little bit more, wrap up this chapter. Read for like 15 minutes just so I could have started, not in November, not waiting on the first. Maybe in the future, figure out how not to, you know, how to play music, how to maybe throw some edits in there, something fun. Get a green screen, brother, or at least go back to your own fucking desk. I feel like my desk is so much more filled out and colorful once we get a little bit more organization. Then I mean there was a Demon Slayer thing on the fucking board up, but take all that down, man, for what? For what? I don't want to see it no more. Help you pack up. And shit, I just finished the Let Them theory. And yes to life in spite of suffering. I really gotta embody these. Really gotta embody the teachings, but also just have to process things. So this is probably one of my ways of just inadvertently healing or moving on. It's like, hey, do the things you always wanted to do, and now that you won't be fawning over somebody in a way that was unproductive for you both, because like I just saw in this fucking Daily Stoic, brother, 2 years ago, when the whole emotional infidelity shit you found, cheating shit was like, oh, you've been flirting and talking shit and all this, crying, getting into better help. I was really into Paul Conti because of he was on, that fucking beautiful 4-part series on Andrew Huberman, and then going over values, doing all these things, and then you buy the book, never read it. I mean, they got both How to Do the Work and Let Them theory. We went and met Nicole, signed it, never never finished the book, never got into meditation. Not that you needed to, but you definitely needed to do something. Never got into yoga, gained a lot of weight, stayed strong, stayed solid in the pocket, and then it's just acting, being a dismissive or not processing, not paying attention, a lot of screen time. Just played yourself to me, unfortunately, but things are as things should be. Can't just gotta let them and spend your time doing the things you want. So also on this page, 10 minutes in, I Please roast the fuck out of this video at this point. Who is this ugly, this dusty nigga talking this long? But I plan to be. I mean, I would say as it says CNA, the R, and the MS, and the DNP, but who knows what will be available down the line? Orthopedics, psychiatrics. Those are the two passions I'm most interested in. But I got a lot more time and a lot less distraction, so today's the day to start. So here we are. Just gonna play some music on my phone. Hopefully, I could just I'm just raw recording videos and maybe upload this tonight on YouTube. I don't know. Yeah, maybe download TikTok, nigga. I don't even know what how social media work. All I do is Instagram. But yeah, upload it tonight. Help me find a book bay in the future. Some shit. Some shit. Somebody who understands education and alignment and integrity and community. Super communicators, communication styles. Who reads a little bit, who works out, who maintains effort in their life and creates meaning instead of coping with a digital pacifier and Animal Crossing, and then rewriting the story, then repressing, resenting, minimizing. Then I guess this might be discarding, distracting to discarding, but it's all good. Either or, man. I didn't expect to ramble, but it's all new. This is just a future intro to your reading page, big dog, whatever you want to call it. Read with me, study liminal liminalities, liminal abstraction. I used to like that title because inference and it is everything. But we'll have a title up, we'll have this video up, and in the year with 2 followers. But yeah, I gotta organize the readings. This just something to start, but I think I got a few songs lined up. Let's just finish this chapter. You gotta have you some good liners. All right, Brown, a little brown today. Yeah, what a chapter already. Oh, breaking the silence. That's where we at. Just happens to talk about you can't repress the emotions, right? That's why I need to journal after. I'll journal before work. Yeah, give myself 15 minutes. You've been here, you need to acknowledge and name what happened to you. Mm. Fundamentally, we should say. Mm, know what you mean. I gotta know how to keep my screen from closing. Re Recalcitrant. What the fuck? Helen's story reminds me of the abuse. Recall recalcitrant. Uncommunicative kids who sit in our residential treatment programs. Recalcitrant. I wrote that down. Recalcitrant. Type that in. mm, 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 mm. System rooted in language, autobiographical self, mm, the moment to moment self awareness. Mm. Only the system devoted to self awareness, which is the basic medial prefrontal cortex, the MMCC, whatever, can change the emotional brain to only in the moment. You can't really, you could script all you want, it sounds like. That's I did PTSD, like when you get triggered, how good is theory? The soul. Mm. One system creates a story for public consumption, and if we tell that story often enough, we're likely to start believing it contains the whole truth. But the other system registers a different truth, how we experience the situation deep inside. And the second system that needs to be accessed, befriended, and reconciled. We're gonna have, look at this color too. Fucking mint aqua tail. Crazy. Northern box that. I don't know why, but I love this aspect of these liners. Very light on the page. So nice. Don't bleed at all. Bias the bridge. Oh, Blaming is a universal trait that helps people feel good while feeling bad. Whereas my old teacher, Elvin Simrad, used to say, hate makes the world go round. Mm. It's all about stories. John Deloney, I know that book is all about stories. I can't wait to get to that. So I like the idea of naming the page liminal abstraction because when you read and then you read between the lines or you're interpreting the symbols of language, it's a space between like experience and meaning, like abstraction, and especially with life, like breakups and stress and whatever your context is your story anyway. Whatever you are is your story anyway. How many don't get in front of the storytelling apparatus have and who are getting harassed by themselves, letting language run amok. This chapter is called Language, Miracle, and Tyranny. Letting language run amok until you talk yourself off that edge, talk yourself into self-harm, physical abuse of another, or killing. I mean, shit, people commit atrocities because of a voice. I like the interpretation that the divine vices and virtues manifest on this plane, of course, within the psyche of man, and then are manifested in action. But I got a few minutes left. I feel like I might not get to journal this morning, but I think I'm gonna write myself something small. Really save it for after work, I guess. Gotta get out of here in 30 minutes. Mm. Wow, this is a weird. I don't know how to process that. It is excruciatingly difficult to put that feeling of no longer being yourself into words. Language evolved primarily to share things out there, not to communicate our inner feelings, our inner territory. Again, the language center of the brain is about as far removed from the center of experiencing oneself as geographically as possible. And we are supposedly a unusually deceptive species that is full of repression in working together. But you're experiencing self, and part of the self that communicates the world out there are far away. And now I'm not gonna go back to this, but when you think about somebody, well, let's say you don't have the healthier habits, so your mind is a little bit more fried, attention span, possibly a weakened corpus callosum. You lack connectivity, so there's, as Joe Dispenza could say, there's more of a gap between the experiencing self and the presentation of self. There's a gap. And sometimes I think that's the one thing in hindsight now that when experiencing somebody's manifested self, which you think is off, and then you're not really recognizing that yet because there's a big gap for them. Maybe that can literally be physically, quantitatively noted in the psyche or in their neurology of their brain, but that gap didn't manifest as a discordance between the inner and the outer world. So then you find someone just actions and words don't connect. Just a lot of bullshit. Should have put more songs up. Yeah, I gotta go to work anyway. So this is all, man. This video is crazy, right? Whoever watches this, just a peek into a random guy's life. Live in Arizona. Don't know what part of the world you may be from. But it won't be like this. If anybody comes back or sees this, and I'm just gonna be reading and playing music and talking about book shit. Shit I find interesting. Um, hmm, I'm gonna have to end it right here. Writing to yourself, because I would want to read this writing to yourself before I then write to myself later today. Jordan Peterson, future self author, and to you literally 10 years in the past. You don't got any kids now, brother. You're not married now, so you be back to New Jersey, but see you 10 years in the future. What a hang up that was, huh? And you'd say you grew in ways that you're proud to have. But you shouldn't have put up with that level of inconsistency and no effort for that long. Struggle to love yourself, man. Where were you at? So when you activate your gut feelings and listen to your heartbreak, when you follow the interoceptive pathways to your innermost recesses, things we get to change, which is literally my new favorite frame of reference, which is not the butterfly caterpillar, but it's a similar thing about anime perspectives too. Mob Psycho, everybody, all main characters, no strain, no evolution. I just finished Gen B. It's dry as shit. Oh, it's dry as shit, but I just finished Gen V, and it's the whole premise of like pressure builds evolution. The stakes were higher, and then oh shit, what the fuck did you just watch? A pokey evolution like that on a short. All of JJK, all of fucking My Hero is airing right now. Even one shitty One Punch Man. So I don't know who I'll become in 6 months. I don't know if I'll keep this up. I'm gonna post this and maybe repost it a year from now with like a year update. Well, who knows? This might be the start of like a semi personal public vlog. So day one, the first morning, I can't even make this up. 404. That's a, want to see a background I made? Yeah, just opens up to a fucking butterfly. Either or. 404 a.m. Journey.